3, 2, 1, and here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the Unorthodox Podcast. Thank you for sticking around with us, and thank you to the 6 people who actually listen to this on Rumble. Thank you very much. There were 2 on YouTube, but those Rumble guys, I really appreciate that. I don't know how you found it, but hope you stick around. My name is Evan Brennan, as some of you probably know. Today's show, we're going to be talking about Israel. This show is going to be a little late. I had a whole different one planned, but then Saturday it happened. The whole Israel-Palestine thing happened. I figured I should probably talk about that because everyone wants to hear my commentary on it, clearly. Team also has a couple news stories I want me to read. I just saw the titles for these, and holy crap, it's going to be a heavy show. I'll try to make them fun as much as I can. Our socials still aren't made yet. I'll announce that when they are. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, my username is Evan__66. And on X, I am Evan J. Brennan. So go ahead and give me a follow. If you want to email the show, have questions, suggestions, you want to tell me I'm a piece of shit, go ahead. I'm bald and I got a beard, got some titties too. Give me some jokes about that. I want to hear them. I'll read the best ones out. You want some advice from a bald tubby guy? Go ahead. Shoot me a question. You can do that at theunorthodoxpod@gmail.com. Those will all be in the description. All right, let's get to our 5 in the chamber. See when the show is actually going to be filmed. We're going to have like a whole cutaway for that. First of all, how about those fucking Irish this weekend? Oh my God. That was embarrassing to watch. Losing to fucking Louisville. Oh my God. Made me angry. Really did. Those of you who don't know, I'm a big Notre Dame fan, but this was pathetic. I love being a sports fan and being able to say, like, I say this shit as if I would do any better if I were coaching. Yes, I am a better quarterback than Marcus Freeman and can see things on the field that he couldn't. Should put me out there. All right, anyway. Our first story. Ryan Carson fatally stabbed in New York. Oh, here we go. I think I heard something about this. An 18-year-old man has been arrested for the fatal stabbing of a well-known community activist returning home from a wedding with his girlfriend early Monday. Ryan Carson, 32, was at a Brooklyn bus stop just before 4 a.m. when he was confronted by a man who had been kicking scooters on the street, totally sober. NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenney told reporters on Wednesday, "What are you looking at?" The man said to Carson, who tried to de-escalate the situation before he was stabbed 3 times, once through the heart, according to Kenney. The attack was captured on video. Details of the killing were revealed during a briefing on Wednesday in which the New York City Police Department announced a decline in murders, shootings, and other violent crimes this year. That's fucking hilarious. Oh my God. He announced a decline in murders while this guy was murdered on the street. That's amazing. Not to point out the obvious. I always love those, like, hey, we've decreased murders by 90%. Still matters the fucking 10%. It's like, hey, that's cool, but I just lost my kidney. All right. Where the fuck are we at? Police on Thursday identified the suspect as Brian Dowling, who faces charges of murder with depraved indifference and criminal possession of a weapon, according to an NYPD spokesperson. And I'm sure he is just stand-up white college student, 2 parents, never touched drugs in his life, just had a bad day. I'm 100% sure that's what that was. Oh, then they have a link to a GoFundMe. Let's see this. That's it. Okay, let's read this. Hi, everyone. We are a collective of Ryan's close friends reeling from a brutal loss. We are asking for your help on behalf of his partner in easing the burden and stress of this horrifying situation so that we can have space and time to grieve and remember Ryan. The immediate needs are to offset the cost of working class people taking time off work to properly mourn. Jesus Christ. How fucking evil do you have to be to capitalize on your friend's death in this way? I mean, this happened on Monday morning. This was posted Tuesday morning. Oh my God, they jumped right on this. Let me read through this. Nowhere in here does it mention funeral costs, helping his family out, his fiance who he was with. Huh. All right, that's fucking evil. What's the next story? Biden interviewed by special counsel in classified documents investigation. President Joe Biden was interviewed as part of an investigation into his handling of classified documents being led by special counsel Robert Hur. Yeah, he had him in his fucking garage next to a car. A person familiar with the matter said Hur personally led the interview. In a statement Monday night, White House spokesman Ian Sams said the voluntary interview was conducted over 2 days, Sunday and Monday. As we have said from the beginning, the President and the White House are cooperating with this investigation. As it has been appropriate, we have provided relevant updates publicly, being as transparent as we can. Consistent with protecting and preserving the integrity of the investigation. I'm sure that's a totally fair investigation, not like they raided the former president's house for keeping them in a locked safe. Oh, everything sucks and we live in a clown world. Oh my God, I don't want to read this one. Man gets life for fatally beating 2-year-old. Oh boy. Ugh. A Virginia man will die in prison after a judge sentenced him to 2 life terms for bludgeoning little Harper Mitchell and then refusing to get her medical care until it was too late. What? A jury convicted Andrew Bird, it's like B-Y-R-D, I think that's Bird, 37, in March for aggravated murder and a slew of other charges for the slaying of his girlfriend's 2-year-old daughter in 2020. Oh my God. Let's read through this a little bit. All Bird cared about that night was getting high and had no concern for the suffering child he had mortally wounded. Mitchell said he was able to get her phone and call Bird's mother, who dialed 911. Harper was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. Her family took her off life, so I don't want to read the rest of that. Oh my God. Why do we keep them alive? Someone explained it to me how it's cheaper and better to pay to keep this person alive for, he's like 37, maybe another 70 years, 60 maybe, than just one bullet. That's a one bullet. I'm Catholic, I'm devoutly Catholic, and the death penalty is genuinely one of the only political issues I genuinely struggle with. Because at the same time, I believe in redemption, second chances, but then there's people like this who I think should be burned at the stake. Yeah. Once a year, we clear out the prisons of all the pedophiles, the rapists, all the, people who hurt children. We just, we get them all together and we burn them alive. I think everyone can get on board with that. We'll make a day of it, make it a holiday. Put out snacks, bouncy house for the children. It'll be fun. Just dance while they're burning alive. That's dark, but I think true. Jesus himself said it would be better for them if they were thrown into the ocean. So I think if we burn them, it just gives them, we acclimate them to their eternity, Whew. Sorry, I needed to joke about that. Boost my spirits a little bit. That made me sad. Oh, this won't, though. Hillary Clinton says we should deprogram Trump supporters. Oh, boy. Supporters of Donald Trump may need to be deprogrammed as if they were cult members, Hillary Clinton said. Sadly, so many of those extremists taking their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left to any measure, the former First Lady, Senator, Secretary of State, and Democratic nominee for president, but not president, you saggy cunt. He's only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when they do break with him, because at some point maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, Jesus Christ. But something needs to happen, Clinton said. I think, sadly, he will be the nominee and we will have to defeat them. And we have to defeat those who are the election deniers as we did in 2020 and in the midterms of 2022, right? Nothing fishy happened in 2020. There were no random burst pipes in Pennsylvania at 3 a.m. And the Democratic Party definitely didn't release a documentary where they showed that these machines could be hacked in support of that one bitch from Georgia who lost to Brian Kemp, claimed she had the election stolen from her. We all forgot about it. So did Hillary, for that matter. Every year after 2016, before 2020, was Russia, 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 Russia. Russia stole the election. Russia hacked the machines. They posted memes on Facebook or something like that. Kind of want to act like we don't remember that? She was definitely on Epstein's fucking island. Oh my God, can you imagine that? Her, Bill, Obama just sitting around a room getting sucked off by 4-year-olds. Obama's like, wait, no. We need to stop those Trump supporters. Election deniers. Like, Bill's like, read the room, Brock. This isn't the time. That could have been a better joke. They suck, is the point of it. Clinton called Trump an authoritarian populist who really has a grip on the emotional and psychological needs and desires of a portion of the population and the base of the Republican Party for whatever combination of reasons. You mean he says what the people need? That, could be a reason. All right, number 5. Minnesota Vikings fans on Sunday had a good time poking fun at Taylor Swift for skipping out on her future album inspiration and current boyfriend Travis Kelce's football game in Minneapolis. The two's romance has rocked the NFL world, uniting two completely different fan bases. Speaking of two different groups of people that are at each other's throats, Palestine launched a multi-front terror campaign targeted Israel on Saturday. Yeah, this is a sad one. And, so I remember waking up to seeing videos of these fucking savages parading dead bodies through the street. A girl who was hands were zip tied behind her back, who clearly was raped, being put in the back of a truck. And these people online on both sides was like, well, this is what you get, justifying it. It was disgusting. But I, being a complete moron, wanted to give you, other complete morons listening to this, a rundown of the whole Israel-Palestine situation. I'll explain it in the best lay terms I can. So, 1948, Israel becomes a country. After World War II, the United Nations decided everyone hates the Jews. A lot of them just died. Got to give them their own country. So they figured this place in the Bible, they were at there a couple thousand years ago. Let's put them back there. The British had a mandate over this place called Palestine. So basically they ruled it. And they're like, all right, we'll give this land to the Jews. They can do what they want with it. They'll be safe there. Problem is, as soon as that happened, a coalition of Arab countries attacked Israel in the first of what was several invasions of Israel. At the end of the war, Israel ended up gaining more land than they had in the first place. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble breathing out of my nose. That's why you might be hearing me breathe a lot. Allergies. I'm going through some shots. Get rid of these fucking things. All right, what's next? No. Yeah, the 1967 war. In June 1967, a war known as the Six-Day War, or the 1967 Arab-Israeli War, broke out. Amid lingering conflicts, including Egypt's continued blockade of shipping into the Gulf of Aqaba. That's probably not the way to say it. Yeah, I remember this one. Israel basically knew it was coming. They had some intelligence. They got the drop on them. I think it was 7 different Arab countries. They kicked the shit out of all of them. It was amazing. It's an amazing story. Don't read all about that. The Six-Day War. Outnumbered 6-1, kicked the shit out of every last one of them. And what they did was they basically took their Air Force and they blitzkrieged everyone. That's not a good term to use when you're talking about Israel. They blitzkrieged every one of the Arab airfields. It was a pretty amazing story. After that, they gave some land to Palestine, just kind of, ease them into it. Just say, hey, well, no hard feelings, right? Take this, live there, enjoy it. Next. Oh, yeah, Munich. Terrorists took some Israeli Olympians hostage. October 1973, the Yom Kippur War. A coalition of Arab nations, led by Egypt and Syria, launched a surprise, coordinated attack on Israel on Yom Kippur, a Jewish holy day. I don't know if you guys know anything about Jewish holidays, but they take them very seriously. They're not just like a lot of Christians and only, celebrate them twice a year, if that. They like Orthodox Jews, you won't be able to find them on the Sabbath, which I think for them it's Saturday. You won't find them. They're not online. Like Ben Shapiro, he doesn't post anything on Saturday. It's amazing. But in like the weekdays, he's just post. Yeah. All right, what do we got? Israel gives Palestine even more land after that. Again, just say, hey, no hard feelings. We cool. Take this. No more fighting. It's all good. Camp David Accords in September 1978, a peace agreement between Egyptian President Anwar Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin, known as the Camp David Accords, is brokered in September 1978 by U.S. President Jimmy Carter. So that's good. Then, starting in December 1987, we have the beginning of a series of Palestinian uprisings, or as they call them, intifadas. It's a weird name. Some more stuff, some more agreements. There's a prime minister assassinated. Another uprising. 2006, Hamas elected in Gaza. Israel withdrew its troops from Gaza in 2005. For those of you who don't know, the Gaza Strip is based, I think it's like 25 miles on the southeast coast of Israel. The Palestinian militant group, Hamas, wins legislative elections. Oh, crap, sorry. I'm burping a lot. I had a soda before this. Leading to political strains with more moderate Fatah party controlling the West Bank. After Hamas's takeover in 2007, Israel imposes a 16-year blockade on the small, overcrowded Palestinian enclave that is home to 2 million Palestinians. Limiting the mobility of goods and people in and out of the territory, Israel has deepened Gaza's humanitarian crisis. The United Nations says, you know what else has probably limited or deepened Gaza's humanitarian crisis? The fact that they continually fire rockets into every Israeli city, murdering thousands of men, women, and children, and then they hide, like they put their headquarters under a hospital. Israel bombed said hospital, told everyone to get out of the hospital because they were going to bomb it, and then everyone got pissed at them. That's how this whole thing has been. Hamas attacks Israel from the civilian side, a refugee camp, a hospital, a school. Israel tells, hey, get out of this place. We're going to blow it up. Everyone gets out of it. Most people do, I think. They bomb it. Whole world blames Israel. That's how this whole fucking thing has been fought. And now they fire 5,000 rockets in a day, invade. They go over the border, kidnap or rape a bunch of people, take them over across it. Now Israel's kind of besieging the whole thing, and everyone's blaming them. For you football fans out there, this would be like, fuck would it be? You're playing football. Your team's playing football. The other guys, they keep shoving you around, punching you, personal fouls, refs aren't throwing flags. You shove them back a little bit, whole world gets angry at you. The ref throws flags. Like, all right, we'll give them some yards. Get them closer to the end zone. Maybe that'll calm them down a little bit. So they do. They give them some yards. Then they keep punching them. Rinse, repeat. That's basically how this thing has been going down. Guys, I promise I will get better at this whole pod. I'll get better at this. They say it takes 40 to get better. I promise to do it in 5. So we got 3 more after this. Then, 2017, the Abraham Accords. That was Trump. He basically brokered a peace agreement between, I think it was Israel, Bahrain, and the UAE. Maybe Saudi Arabia. Then the media didn't give him any credit for it whatsoever. They didn't talk about it at all. Possibly the biggest peace agreement in Israel since the 70s. Peace in the Middle East. Fuck that, Oh, what else we got? I think that's it, and that brings us to the current shitty situation. December 2017, U.S. recognizes Jerusalem as capital. That was a big problem. Israel always wanted their capital from the beginning. Palestinians didn't. It's theirs. It's basically a big center point for every Abrahamic religion. For Jews, that was the ancient capital of Israel. Muslims, I think someone with Muhammad down there. He wasn't a very good person if you ever know anything about that. And for Christians, obviously, all the stuff with Jesus there. And where are we at now? Netanyahu. That's a funny name. Yeah, and that's where we are now. in a whole fucking mess. That brings me to my next point. We may have funded. Yes. So there's a frightening pattern going on in recent history where the U.S. just kind of gives people. It's around $6 billion. That's probably what the title of this show's episode is going to be. How much does it cost to start a war? Apparently $6 billion. I'll figure out something better. But yeah, let's just back in the fall. I think it was late May, early June. The U.S. announced, the Pentagon announced, I guess, an accounting error that provided an extra $6.2 billion for Ukrainian military aid. A couple months later, or weeks later, I guess, the Wagner Group tried to overthrow the Russian government. They failed. It was about 2 hours. I think only like 20 people died or so. Didn't last long. But it's been widely speculated by a lot of people that we may have paid them. My theory is that we approached that crazy bastard, whatever his name is, Prigozhin, gave him the $6 billion, said, hey, take this money, overthrow Putin. He did. He took the money, went to Putin, said, hey, the U.S. just paid me a lot of money to overthrow you. I'm not going to. Let's take this money. Let me do some stuff. Make it look like I'm going to. And then we'll just, they can't admit it because that would start a war. We won't admit it because we already win. Although then he died, didn't he? Shit. No, he was definitely assassinated. He was in that plane, I think a couple months ago that got shot down. So that kind of throws a wrench into that. Maybe let's think about this, guys. Put it in the comments. What do you think happened? Maybe he took the money, legitimately tried to overthrow them. I don't know. Then maybe Putin took hostages or something and said, hey, stop this or we'll kill them. Then, how much time we got? We have 22 minutes. This won't be a very long one. It's very late. I'm tired. Need my allergy medication. Then, in late September this year, we had a little prisoner swap with the Iranians where they gave us some prisoners from us that they had, and we gave them $6 billion. Some would call that not a very fair trade. There was concern at the time because Iran has always funded terrorists. That's an open secret. There was concern at the time that it would be used to fund terrorists. And I remember watching this. It was a press conference. I think it was Blinken, that sniveling little cunt. Then Anthony Blinken, he was asked, hey, are we worried that they're going to use this to, as I said, fund terrorism? He said, oh, no, probably not. And the Iranian guy said, we will use the money as we see fit. It's like, oh, shit. And yeah, Iran has always been an open partner of Palestine and Hamas. So yeah, we definitely did that. And people say we would never do that. Yes, we do. We've done it constantly. We've done it all the time. We were definitely behind the 2014 coup in Ukraine that put the current dick piano playing jackass in there. Funny video too. It's Zelensky years ago. He was a comedian. If you didn't know that, it's him playing the piano with his penis. He pulls his pants down, has his hands up. It was on like Ukraine's Got Talent, and then it's a funny video. Look up Zelensky penis. I'm sure you'll find it. Yeah, we overthrew multiple Latin American governments in the during the Cold War because they were communists. Which, I mean, more or less, maybe that was a good idea. I don't know. I'm not going to judge. And we almost did it to us. Look up, I believe it was called Operation Northwinds. We were going to pay, it was going to be funded by the CIA. They were going to pay like Cuban terrorists to attack like Florida and Louisiana, a couple other states, to justify an invasion of Cuba. I remember this was declassified not too long ago. And Kennedy basically said, like when you heard about it, Kennedy said, I can't believe we call ourselves the human race. And then they killed him for it. Look out, Robert. They're coming for you too. Yeah, so that's definitely something we would do. We've done it many times before. Jesus. If you look at some of the shit our government has done, it makes you a lot less proud to be an American. I don't know. We've done some cool stuff too. Got Bin Laden. World War II was pretty cool. That's about we invented ice cream. Actually, who did invent ice cream? Let's look that up. Peanut butter. We invented peanut butter. Nuked two cities. That wasn't very good. Ice cream. It couldn't have been like ancient time. Oh my god, it was. The emperors of the Tang dynasty, like the orange juice, are believed to have been the first to eat a frozen milk-like confection. This version was made with cow, goat, or buffalo milk that was heated with flour. The hell you heat something with flour? How ice cream made America. I don't want to read that. I'll take credit for it. America invented ice cream. Fuck China. They have everything. They make everything. We're taking that. We invented Rocky Road. Ice cream is ours. Columbus Day on Monday. Happy Columbus Day. Good day. The day, Western civilization was built. Greatest civilization to ever stand. Yeah. The natives weren't as good as you think they were. A lot of people don't really know that. Which I'm not. Wow, that sounded way more racist than I meant it. No, there's this idea of like Native American horse culture where they were all just, peaceful, loving. No, they were at war with each other all the time. So when people say things like, we need to give the land back, to who? What tribe? Doesn't matter. To them it does. Like, take the Black Hills. Who do we give that back to? Before we took it, it belonged to the Sioux. The Lakota Sioux, I believe. But they took it from the Cheyenne. Do you know how they took it from the Cheyenne? Because they had more people and better shit, so they killed them and took their shit. As every civilization has done in the history of the human race. Our evils are not unique because we happen to win. Every civilization has done it. And we won. Right of conquest, baby. I think that's Game of Thrones. Point is, yeah, I think that's it. Actually, you know what? Let's do some Reddit reads. We got time. We're only at 27 minutes. Let's do one or two. Am I the asshole? If you start emailing me, we can do these for a third part of the show. I have no guest today, if that wasn't obvious. Ooh, here's a good one. Am I the asshole for leaving my son's share of the estate to his daughter? My other kids don't think I'm being fair. My spineless son Richard, 38 male, has prioritized his wife and stepkids over his own daughter. Haley, 18 female, it's happened multiple times. I have decided to disinherit him and rescind his stepkids' 529 college funds. I am not here for judgment. You literally asked for judgment, dude. If I should disinherit him or rescind the college funds, but if it's fair to my other two kids by leaving my granddaughter an equal share of my estate. The way my will is currently written, my estate will be split equally 3 ways. I have set up 529 funds for all my grandchildren, which I am the sole owner of, and that is all I planned for them to receive, with the exception of family heirlooms. I'm seeing my lawyer Friday to make the change happen. My other two kids, 41 male, 36 female, says it's not fair to their kids. Everyone agrees that Richard, his wife, and stepkids are disowned and out of the family. Richard is extremely upset, but you reap what you sow. He is certainly not going to leave anything to Haley now. My other two kids have substantial assets themselves and will be leaving their assets to their children. I don't understand, with this being the case, why Haley should not get her father's portion. They think I should leave his share to all the grandkids equally. I am not so convinced. Am I the asshole? First things first, on Reddit, I think a general rule is every question asker is about at least 3 times worse of a person than they make themselves seem. There's this guy on Instagram, Slappable Jerk. He does these videos of the average Redditor. That's who this man is. That's who all Redditors are. I don't really have an opinion on this. I can't really formulate one, so let's see what people say. Not the asshole. Do not, I repeat, do not, in all caps, make one of your kids the executor of your estate. Inheritance makes people go nuts, and your kids 100% sound like they would find a way to screw over your granddaughter. Definitely see a lawyer to make sure your sons can't contest by saying he was forgotter. That's weird. Or your other children can contest by saying their children were forgotten. Typo. I've never understood this. Unless you have terrible relationships with your parents, why do you care about your inheritance? I mean, unless you're dirt poor. Here's another one. I would tell the kids that if they want things to be equal, you will claw back everybody's 529s and split the whole estate between the grandkids, meaning they get nothing if nothing if all goes to grandkids. They want it to be equal. They want it to be equal. It can be, what the hell? This guy writes that shit. Or I'm dyslexic, also possible. It can be at their own expense. Yeah. You know what? That was a bad one. Let's find a good one to end on. Shall we? Lies my husband and I? No. Am I the asshole for telling my DIL daughter-in-law, yep, that she isn't my kid and oh god, yep, we're doing this one. Holy shit. Okay. I have 2 daughters. When they were younger, my wife and I realized that I spent more time with the boys and she spent more time with the girls, so we made father-son dates for me, and she does son-mom dates. They are all adults now, but we still do those dates, but they are just less often. So my 2 daughters and I are going to have a tea house. The youngest, she's British. The youngest picked it and just catch up. Jesus. Now my oldest son got married to Sue. She is a nice girl, and I see her at holidays and other events. I got a call from Sue asking about times for tea. I was confused and asked what she was talking about. She explained the daughter-father date, and I am her daughter-in-law. I told her this is just a thing between me and my daughters. She repeated that she is my daughter-in-law. This went on for a few times until I told her she isn't my kid and that she is not invited. Oof. She hung up, and I'm now getting calls from my oldest, my son, her husband, for being a jerk and not welcoming her into the family. Now here's an update. I had a conversation with my son. He is the one I mentioned. I explained what happened, and he told me that is what he heard from Sue after she calmed down. He called me a jerk since she was crying, and he thought I flipped out on her. I also talked to Sue, and she gave an apology. I apologize for being harsh. She heard about it from my son and thought it would be a nice way to get closer to my daughters. I explained the tradition, and she told me she understood the first call. She panicked since I told her no, so she kept repeating. She told me she was quite embarrassed and asked if she was still invited to Halloween dinner coming up. She is. Who the hell is a Halloween dinner? She wants a closer relationship with my daughter since she is an only girl in my family. I told her that is a conversation with them, and trying to force herself into traditions won't help that. I suggest she invite them out to a winery or something. Also, she did find this thread. That's funny. I'm going to say yes. Yes, she is the asshole in here because there's a certain, when you get married, you are joining the families, I guess. So, daughter-in-law, she is essentially your daughter now. Unless she's a horrible person, I can't see why you don't want her there. Let's see what these people say. Oh, no. That guy's just asking a question. Someone give an opinion. Someone give an opinion on this. Let's go. Oh my god, just stop telling your fucking story. Here we go. Not the asshole because she wasn't invited. That's a decision for you and your daughter. Okay, you know what? Fair enough. She should have asked. It's like, hey, I've heard about this thing. May I come too? Yeah, there you go. All right, that's fair. But again, as I said, Reddit people are generally awful in real life. Like the worst person you know, your probably nerdy cousin, just a complete jackass. He's probably a Redditor. Think of the worst person you know. That man is on Reddit. Or woman. Nah, it's just men, never mind. There's no women on Reddit. Alright, I think that's it. I'm tired. It's 11 o'clock. What are we at? 34 minutes? And that's it, I believe. That was episode 2 of the Unorthodox Podcast. Next week, I promise you, we'll be up earlier. But that was it. Have a good week. We will see you next time.